Alright y'all, so by the time this video is uploaded, we should be around 12 hours away from the Dokkan Now special for the 10th anniversary. This special will be revealing all details about the anniversary LRs. We should see potentially their actual banner images, their banner unit, things like that, and a lot of other news about the anniversary will be revealed here. This is the big stream that we've been waiting for, and also tomorrow the banner should likely be in game pretty much basically 24 hours from the time this video goes up, as well as when we do expect the banners to already be live. So all that exciting stuff, and I usually do this every year and for these major celebrations, but this time I did indeed decide to go all out. I've made 3 concepts for the brand new LRs, and we're going to be talking about what I would like to see from them. We'll be discussing, what I talked about earlier with leader skills in a separate video, and just in general, the kind of vibe I expect from how powerful these LRs will be. So again, we're gonna hop right into it really. Again, it'll be the 3 LRs, the Blue Evolution Vegeta, Super Vegeta, and Super Saiyan 4 Goku. I think we're gonna start off with the transforming Super Saiyan 4 Goku, go to Blue Vegeta, then end up with Super Vegeta since he's a new mechanic and he's gonna be the more complex one. I want to set the standards of what we expect from these characters, and end off with like the new mechanic, quote unquote, that's going to be coming. And if I do need to bring up any references, we will reference to the Dokkan Wiki here. That'll be just fine. But without further ado, we'll just hop right into the first concept with the Super Saiyan 3 GT Goku. Now, keep in mind, this guy is going to be a Super Saiyan 3 GT Goku Golden Giant 8 card. That'll be the name of the card. He's going to start off as this version, just Super Saiyan 3 Goku. And I'm going to assume that he will go Great Ape and then later on transform into Super Saiyan 4. So, from here, leader skill. And I did a really interesting thing with the leader skill that you'll see with the other LRs. I gave him GT Heroes Key 4 and 200% HP attack and defense, then 5% additional damage reduction. That applies to the entire team. And, again, if we take a look at GT Heroes, there's, I think, a lot of characters that could benefit from that potentially, that even have an easy aid. Let's see a character like the GT Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. I'm not sure how much this guy would benefit from getting just an extra 10% reduction. I feel like his stats are just not high enough. But, maybe with the extra links, and maybe if there's like other support units that are added, like a banner unit, or that actually wouldn't be a banner unit. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I think GT could potentially have a big resurgence this year. I don't know how good this guy would be eventually, but maybe the events are long enough and weak enough at the start where this guy could get the 5 hits, so then eventually transforming into full power, that damage reduction could help. But I think these guys would really benefit. The Easy A for the LR Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, they get damage reduction, and maybe these guys will get some sort of damage reduction there. I just think it's a cool ability, right? Adding like some sort of damage reduction or something like that to the leader skill would be a way to increase the power of these leader skills without like making a huge like 250% stats jump, right? Though if I was gonna say anything, it's probably more likely they would do that than this, but I wanted to go the creative way because it's a concept after all. Then the new category, Earth Protecting Heroes, I gave Key 3 and 200% stats, no damage reduction. The damage reduction only applies to these, again, GT hero characters right here. Again, I just think it'd be a really cool way to expand upon the leader skill meta. And again, yeah, this is the new category, not much to say beyond that. It has a good roster of characters overall. Maybe it's possible that this is the category that would get the focus with the 4 key. I think that makes a lot of sense as well, but just for this concept, this is what I decided to go for. Now, I did make this guy a stacking character, so he does greatly raise attack and defense on his 18 key. Then he has a normal 20% attack and defense raise on his 12 key super attack effect. Nothing really much beyond there, but he does have that effect. Now, I do think he will have an entrance animation. In his entrance animation, I gave him 4 turns of guard and then 4 turns for a guaranteed additional super attack to help really build up the stacks as, he'll get stronger and stronger throughout the fight. Now, for his basic effects, Key 5 and 200% attack and defense, I gave him a Rainbow Orb Changing ability. Now, the reason why I did give him this is because there's not really a crazy Rainbow Orb Changer on this team, at least right now. When these 2 EZA they will be Rainbow Orb Changers, but we actually don't know when they're going to EZA. I mean, they're holding on to these 3 characters right here for whatever reason. A lot of us will think that there's a GT celebration, but like, what would they do for a GT celebration? Now, would it just be a full power Super Saiyan 4 Goku from the Shadow Dragon Saga? That would be my guess, or like, you know, an actual Dokkan Fest baby or something like that, right? We'll see. I would assume it'd be for like a more major celebration, maybe even a new Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, right? Yeah, it's very, very possible. But until then, I think him being a Rainbow Orb Changer would help. Based off of my kit here, let me fix this. 33% damage reduction just to match with the 33, you know, Super Saiyan 3. And then key 2 per Rainbow or Tech keys for obtained. I did make him Tech right here. I do think this guy being Tech would just be a good idea to me personally. When performing a super attack, he gets 200% attack and then a 70% chance to perform a crit. If key is 24, when receiving an attack, he gets 200% defense and then an additional 20% reduction. Then he supports GT Heroes or Earth Protecting Heroes category allies 33% attack and defense for 2 turns when he collects a Rainbow or Tech Key Sphere. So, I mean, this guy's doing a lot, right? Even just for a base form, and I think that is very important. I don't want to hold back on the base form just because it is, well, I say base form, but just a starting off form just because it is a starting off form, right? And, you know, so he has basically everything you want except for like what, dodge or something. He has support, Rainbow Orb Changing, the guaranteed additional super attack, very easy key mechanics right here, 53% reduction. He has the guard, right? So he's gonna do very well. Now, even as a slot 1 character, and that's kind of what I'm thinking, like this guy in GT Heroes early on in fights, especially as your slot 1 de facto character, because these guys aren't going to be able to slot 1. I mean, this guy's not, again, like I said, anything really good anymore. These guys are not slot 1, right? And, you know, even just on the Earth Protecting Heroes team, which I could bring that up right now, the Earth Protecting Heroes team, there are some slot 1 characters like Beast Gohan that do fit the team. But I think that they'll want to likely build up the GT Heroes category, I think, a lot this year. So that's kind of my thought process. I think that, where is the Earth? But let me, wait. Okay. Let me find it real quick. I can't spell apparently. Sorry, chat. Sorry. Okay. Earth Fighters and Earth Protecting Heroes. Like, again, this category right here. Like, this guy is the slot 1, but like no one else, you look at him and you're like, oh yeah, this is our de facto slot 1 character. So I think this character being slot 1 for this team and GT Heroes would be really good. And yeah, and again, with the support is nice too for the new category, and GT Heroes could always use the help them. After this, we can use an active skill on the 5th turn, right? Which is why I made his intro only 4 turns. So while you don't have to use the active skill on the 5th turn, you really are pushed to do so. And I think it just makes a lot of sense, right? This guy, you know, eventually will go into his Golden Grid 8 form. And then he transforms into Golden Giant 8 for 2 turns. Now, with his Golden Giant 8 form, he just has normal kind of things. Basically, I just gave him what LR Janemba has on his 18k 12k super attack with the temporary attack raise here, and you know, he'll hit even a little harder because he is stacking before he actually transforms into Golden Giant Ape. Now, one thing I noticed about Janemba is that he gets his first big attack, and after that, he just kind of does pretty much nothing. Of course, he does have the super attack cancel potential, but I feel like, you know, he kind of phases out after that. So I made a change to this guy compared to what Janemba has. Now, I did give him the nuking ability where he changes all key spheres to tech key spheres. He gets 20% attack per key sphere obtained compared to Janemba's. Janemba has 13%, so he's going to be hitting a lot harder. And then key 2 per key sphere obtained, right? I did not give him any additionals. But I added this ability. After he collects 23 tech key spheres, he changes a random type of key sphere to rainbow key spheres. So essentially, he'll be mid-turn rainbow orb changing. So if the orb paths that you end up with are very bad, he will still rainbow orb change for you and continue to potentially grab 24 key super attacks, still take advantage of that nuking passive, right? And I think that'll be just that's a cool idea that I have, right? And it'll only be for that first turn. If you decide to stay in him for the second turn, you probably won't actually, just because if you decide to stay in Golden Giant Ape, I'm pretty sure he will literally just go back into the Super Saiyan 3, so you're kind of forced to exit this form. I left it as 2 turns just in case you want to get the 1 turn of the Golden Giant Ape, But the idea is that, you use this first turn, potentially cancel the enemy super attack, and then you could use his active skill in his giant form, which he will transform into Super Saiyan 4 Goku here. And obviously I made this guy really good, right? So we'll talk about him here. His super attack effects do both greatly raise attack and defense. The 18 key, though, does a 3-turn greatly raise attack and defense buff. Passive skill, 250% attack and defense and key 5. Rainbow Orb changing is kept. His 33% reduction goes up to 44%. Then he still gets key 2 per the Rainbow Orb Tech Key Sphere. On super, he gets another 200% attack. He gets now a guaranteed additional super attack here, just like for free, I guess, not like intro restricted or anything. And then a 70% chance to crit. Key is 24 when you're receiving an attack. I gave him guard. Again, he had guard before transforming, so now I just gave him to him here for free. 20% reduction and then 250% defense. So just alone, if you're at 24 key, this guy has guard, 64% damage reduction, and he's getting a lot of multiplicative defense starter turn. Like, that's a lot. In fact, 250% might be a bit much. Actually, really looking at it, this should honestly be like 150% chat. Like, I'm thinking about it, he's stacking pre-transformation. Yeah, I might have to nerf him a little, right? But he's still gonna be really, really good with this. Maybe, I'll be nice. We'll give it 200%. Oh, that's 100%. We'll give him a nice 200%. That's 300%. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay. Yeah. Again, but this is the transformation that you're gonna get like on turn. Like, I guess it'll happen in turn 5 technically, huh? So that's gonna be pretty funny. On 24 key when attacking, gets 159% attack, guaranteed crits, and then another additional super attack. My idea with this guy is that he's basically going to be AGL Broly modern day, except he's also supporting for 2 turns, right? I made this guy really good, like really, really, really good, like really good. Keep in mind, with the leader skill, he's getting another 5%. So if you obviously have him as a double leader, this 64% reduction is actually going to go up to 74% reduction. So he's kind of like transformed Tech LR Broly in that scenario. Yeah, no, he's just going to be doing a lot of damage. And again, I looked at like Tech Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks as a comparison. So you see these numbers, and these numbers are really big. But if you look at Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks in comparison, I mean, his numbers are also just huge. Now, this guy is like also stacking and stuff like that, right? But he has this 200%, 77% here, 100% here, 77% here, 77% here. And all those numbers add up to like 500-ish%. So like this, I think, is like not like anything crazy, and the support does not even include him anyways, but this is just a nice thing to have, just the extra support. He's still Rainbow Orb changing. He's doing a lot. I kind of thought of like this guy, and I'm like, I think like Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks is kit, but like make him more secure overall, and obviously he's going to be stronger, but then for like a GT Heroes team would actually fit that mold really, really well, or even the Earth Protecting Heroes team, again, would also fit very, very, very well. So that's kind of my idea when designing this guy. He also, again, has a super mechanic. And again, as a 10th anniversary character, he's probably going to be like contention for best character in the game by far. So that's kind of what I thought, again, when I was designing the Super Saiyan 4 Goku. So with that, we'll move on to the Blue Evolution Vegeta concept right here. So, I mean, again, his leader skill will be very, very similar to the Super Saiyan 4 Goku right here. But if we take a look here, I gave him superheroes as a leader skill. Now, that's really funny. We did get a lot of superheroes category, leaders in the past year. We got Beast Gohan, for example. But besides Beast Gohan and the Gammas, we actually hadn't gotten one. And I think that it's very possible that they make this guy a leader, or not, Juro. I should put a Beast right here. It's very possible that they make this guy a leader for this team, just because it has been a year, and I do think that they'll want to get all these like Universe 7 characters, especially on the category team. This guy has UI Goku in his card art, so he's going to very likely have a unit super attack or something with UI Goku. If we took like a Tech UI Goku, he does lead Universe Rival Saga already. I mean, they could make him a Reps 200% leader, but I wouldn't be a fan of that. I'd rather just him lead superheroes, right? I think that'd be okay, right? A turnaround power superheroes leader would be fine. I don't think it would be that big of an issue. Then 3% chance to dodge. This would mostly affect Blue Gogeta and then the UI Gokus. Like, I mean, I guess everyone would get the chance to dodge, and I guess this guy when he's EAs, but it wouldn't be something that's like, oh my goodness, everyone has a 6% chance to dodge. It's broken. I mean, like UI Goku already guaranteed dodges turn 1, and then on turn 2 he would start up at what, 80, like 83% chance to dodge or something. Like it's not gonna be something that like breaks the game, I think. So I do think it's a nice buff though. Then successors get 4 key and 200% stats. I made a 4 key for no reason specifically, really. I mean, maybe I could have made the other leader score here 4 key as well. That's great. We'll make a 4 key too. Why not? Now, the successors team is not really as good. I think it has a much more interesting blend of characters like Piccolo, Vegeta, Frieza, kind of like Gifted Warriors, funny enough. But yeah, I think that's why I can 4 key. So this guy is all about like stacking attack right here. So his 12 key stacks attack, greatly raises defense for the turn. I did give him Mega Colossal on his 12 key though. 18 key, greatly raise attack, greatly raise defense for the turn, Mega Colossal. Then his unit super attack can be activated when there's a Goku attacking in the same turn. He will massively stack attack. He has a 100% defense raise for the turn as well. Mega Colossal damage, and then here's this. He'll get 3% chance to dodge enemy attacks for the rest of battle. So with every 18 key unit super attack he does, he'll get dodge and dodge over on. Now, this is pretty much the only like dodge he has in his kit, except for one last detail we'll talk about later on. But you know, I just think like he is gonna be, I think, a tanky kind of unit, right? Not necessarily slot 1 though, because I think UI Goku's will be able to handle slot 1, though eventually he could potentially build up to being a slot 1 kind of character. Now his passive skill activates the entrance animation. I do think he'll have an intro. Give him just guaranteed guard, and then for 7 turns he does a guaranteed additional super attack. Basic effects: he has key 7, 250% start of turn stats, 50% reduction, 70% crit, and then an additional with a 50% chance to be a super. So I mean, just for free basically, he has 2 additionals. One is a guaranteed super, one could be a super, 70% crit, guard, and 50% reduction, right? Very easy with key too. So with each attack he performs, he gets 50% attack and defense up to 150%, and that is a permanent buff, so that all will stay start of turn. For every super attack performed, he gets 77% attack within the same turn, right? And this is more reminiscent. You may think of Glorio, I think, as a character you can think of, but the character that I'm mostly thinking of when it comes to this is actually the LR Super Saiyan Gohan from the Worldwide Celebration. He literally has this exact passive line. 77% attack within the turn for every super attack performs. This guy is the same thing, right? You know, he just has the same ability. Now, when activating the active skill or when keys 24, he gets another 77% attack. Then he gets an additional 59% attack and a guaranteed crit if there's a Goku attacking in the same turn. Surprise, his active skill also wants a Goku in the same turn, but I also made it available from the 5th turn. Actually, no, I'm really stupid. It's Goku on the team for the 5th turn, which I don't really think is a difficult restriction whatsoever. There's always going to be a billion Goku units that are going to be relevant in the game. So, yeah, I think this guy will be fine. Now, the active skill effect, it is an attack, massively raises attack temporarily, ultimate damage, but then he gets 10% damage reduction, 10% dodge, and directs all enemy attacks towards him for 1 turn. So he has a target skill mechanic. And with that target skill mechanic, he'll have the dodge and reduction. So he'll have 60% reduction plus guard. But then on top of that, he has, you know, whatever dodge he builds up. So 6% here from the leader skill plus 10%, that's a minimum of 16% dodge. And then beyond that, whatever dodge you get from here. So if he's gotten like 3 super attacks, that is pretty much like around a 20-ish% chance to dodge, which not anything crazy for sure. It's not like anything like, oh, you know, this guy's broken now, but I think having that chance to dodge is just really cool. On top of like him having the guard, 60% reduction, and all the stats sort of turn. Again, primarily this character will be sitting in slot 2. In certain situations, you could slot 1 him if it's a little safe or there's no attacks before attacking. But this guy is mainly intended to be used with the UI Gokus who are already very safe in slot 1. So That's my idea with him. I guess the one thing about this guy, he doesn't have like any support or anything like that. But I view him as like, he's going to be more of an offensive kind of character. And his active skill will hit really hard, man. Like all this attack stacking with the additional super attacks he'll get, man. His active skill will hit really, really crazy. So that's kind of my idea. Like you are building this guy up towards his active skill, and he's just a wall in general. Like very easy restrictions. I think that's what they'll kind of take this guy as personally, but I guess, we'll have to wait and see, of course. Then, of course, we'll end things off with the LR Super Vegito Fusion card. Again, we know that it's going to be a Goku plus Vegeta is the name of the card, and they'll be able to exchange into each other back and forth. Then, later on, you could actually fuse into Super Vegito himself. We know that he's a turn-limited fusion, so I do expect this guy to be really, really good, and I did show that off in the concept here. So, fused fighters get key for 200% stats, and then counterattack damage is I can't even speak. The damage dealt by counterattacks is increased by 7%. That is not only just like, Age of Super Vegito, but that would also be for Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and other cards that just have counterattacks that would fit the Fused Fighters category. In Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta when you use EAs, right? I think it's just a very interesting concept where it's like increases a certain damage that is dealt to the bosses, right? And I think that it's just like a really cool ability. So 14% extra counterattack damage. I don't know how good that was. Maybe this is too good. Maybe it should be 5% or something. But I just went with 7. He also leads Final Trump card or Majin Saga for key 3 and 170%. Then an additional 30% to Pure Saiyans or Accelerated Battle. And Majin Saga is very funny because him as a Majin Buu Saga leader, again, there's been so many Majin Buu Saga leaders. We had Angel Super Saiyan 3, Int Fat Buu, Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, and even years before, we just have so many Buu Saga leaders. I just like I see this guy, like they're just like, yeah, we'll just make him a Buu Saga leader. Like why would they not make him a Buu Saga leader? Like this team is the best team in the game right now, basically. Like I think this I would be perfectly fine with him being a Buu Saga leader, 100%. He'd be a really good Majin Buu Saga leader, right? Now, Super Saiyan Goku and Vegeta, I assume they'll have, of course, different abilities. So I designed them in a way where it's 2 units in 1. So the Goku stacks a defense here and has attack raises for the turn on his 18 key and 12 key. His passive skill, key 5 and 250% stats, 50% chance to dodge, 50% crit chance, and 40% damage reduction. If he's in the first or second slots, he has an additional 20% chance to dodge, key 5 and 200% defense when he receives an attack, so that it is multiplicative, and then a guaranteed additional super. Now, if he's third in the attacking turn, he actually does something a little different. He has 2 additionals, which have a 50% chance to be a super, 200% defense when he attacks, an additional 10% reduction, and then he gets all allies key to a 20% defense attack for 3 turns. So he becomes like a little support character for multiple turns if you float him off. He could potentially get more stacks, right? And just in case he has the extra little bit of damage reduction to ensure that, even if he doesn't get some of these stacks, he will still be fine if any super attack is potentially aimed at him, really. Now, this guy is not going to be like the most defensive mega character ever outside of slot 1, but I mean, again, in slot 1 he has the 70% chance to dodge already, then 40% reduction baseline, especially for the normal attacks, and with all the stacking defense he could do, I think he's gonna be able to get some pretty good stats. There's still more to this guy right here that I did go ahead and provide. If he's facing either an extreme class enemy or all allies are super class in the rotation, he gets 5% additional dodge with each attack received or evaded. So yeah, essentially he will be able to build up to potentially guarantee dodge if you get enough dodges, right? I gave him a 50% chance to guard, just for the funnies, really. And then 159% attack when attacking, just a large extra attack boost right there. Then when you reverse exchange from Vegeta into this character, he gives all allies key 1 and 59% defense, and then 10% HP recovery. The reverse exchange active could be activated at the start of turn, so whenever you want, you could tag into Vegeta, but you can only do it once per turn. So once you tag into Vegeta, you can't tag back into Goku. I guess you could do an app reset, but that's essentially how it would work, right? You're stuck with Vegeta if you tag into Vegeta, right? Or if you tag into Goku, you're stuck back with Goku. And that lines up with the Fusion Active skill. So the Fusion Active could be used when there's 2 more exchanges that have been completed, or from the 6th turn, and then you fuse into Super Vegeta for 5 turns. Now, how this will be handled, I don't know. Maybe Vegeta will be a standby skill. I can't say for sure. I have no idea. I don't know how they're gonna handle it, but you know, it's just a general idea. You could assume it to be a standby skill. You could assume it's some way that they could still fuse. We'll see what happens, right? They will reveal all this details to us tomorrow, but like this is gonna be a thing that we're gonna find out, like how exactly this would work, right? Now, we could talk about the Vegeta portion of the card here, where he's offensively based, right? He will lose a lot of the slot 1 viability, but he'll gain a lot of offensive abilities, in case you are someone who does like that. He does raise attack permanently, greatly raise defense on the 18 key, and then raise defense normally on the 12 key. He has a lot of the similar things: key 5 to 50% start of turn stats, and then 40% reduction. He does lose the high chance to dodge, but instead this guy does have a 70% chance to crit. Then if he's 2nd or 3rd in the attacking turn, he gets another 30% chance to crit, so he's guaranteed critting. He gets another key 5, 200% attack when attacking compared to the defense buff that you get, that Goku would have gotten. He gets another 50% attack with each attack performed within the same turn, and then a guaranteed additional super. Then beyond that, he gets another guaranteed additional super at 24 key, and then all allies get 20% attack and defense for 2 turns. So, I just made it silly. So instead of a slot 3 passive, he just has this little extra support. Not as strong, but it will still be beneficial. I mean, technically it is a multiplicative support passive if I'm understanding correctly, so that'd be really good still. But Vegeta is going to be way more about offense, and again, the idea is that you switch back and forth with these guys. If you do that, you will get the Vegeta fusion before. In fact, you know what? I was thinking about making the 7th turn, just as like you are basically, yeah, I'll make it 7th turn, because like, okay, I want you to feel like you want to switch with this character, right, in order to get the fusion early. But if you don't and you play it safe, the event's gonna be lasting longer anyways, because Goku's more defensive, right? I think is the idea behind that. Yeah, changing it mid concept, right? It is what it is. He has the same thing, but 5% extra reduction with each attack performed or received within the same turn. Again, this guy is going to be a slot 2 character, so he may not receive as many more attacks or the super attack at all. 150% defense when attacking, but yeah, I mean, if you do 4 attacks with this guy, that 40% reduction will go up to 60%, and I think that's fair, considering that, again, he doesn't have any dodge chance, right? The Goku at least he can get like a lot of dodge, and he has a lot extra defenses, right? I mean, Goku will get the extra 200% defense when receiving the attack. Goku has the dodge on top of that. Goku, you know, just could do a lot extra in terms of defensive utility plus the stacking. Yeah, that's kind of my idea around that. Maybe this should be 100% done, just because 150% might be a bit much, but it's whatever. Now, when you reverse exchange back into this character, he gives all allies 59% attack and key 1, and then disables an enemy action once within a turn. My idea is that, like, Vegeta goes in, he's like, I'll take care of this 2-for-1, like, key blast the enemy, and then, like, this disables their action. Switching into Vegeta will be very powerful, right? I think that's the idea behind it, and Goku will be more of the safe option. Vegeta will be like, okay, he's not that consistent defensively. He'll still be good defensively, but like, he's not going to be as strong. And I think having a slot 1 ability like this Goku could have is very valuable, right? I think a lot of people will look at Vegeta and be like, oh, Vegeta's just better, but I think it's situational, right? Then again, once you could fuse into Super Vegito, great things happen. I mean, let's just be honest, I just made him the best unit in the game. I think, you know, a temporary fusion that you have to meet a restriction for, he's the Dokkan Fest. He's probably going to just be better, just solely Vegito. So his 18 key greatly raises attacking defense for the turn. 12 key raises attacking defense for the turn. Both are doing Mega Colossal. Basic effects. You already know a character could be really good when they have like 5 basic effects. 30% HP recovery once only. 15% key, or not 50%. 15 key. That's so fun. Such a funny number. And then 350% stats to return. Guaranteed crits. 50% reduction. And then he has a scouter. When he receives an attack, he gets 50% attack and defense for this battle, and gets the guard ability, you know, which is already just a pretty good ability with the 50% reduction on the scouter. Then on normal attacks, he gets another 20% reduction and counters. On super attacks, I give him the Gogeta and Jinama ability where he has the high chance to dodge, and then he gets another 50% attack. Kind of similar to Full Power Jiren. I was thinking of like Full Power Jiren plus Super Gogeta, and then give him counters, like Tech White counters. And then he also launches the guaranteed initial super attack at 24 key. And then he also, with Vegeta, would have stacked a lot of attack. So his counters were hit really hard. Like his counters gonna hit really hard. Like this is gonna, like, this guy would be absurdly powerful. I don't assume that this Vegeta would be weaker than the Vegeta that they'll give us. I think I definitely overshot, but it's just fun. This is a concept anyways, chat. I don't know. Yeah, again, this character has a lot going for him. I think I just really wanted to make some interesting designs, whether or not like they're overtuned or undertuned. I think that they all would be really effective in terms of the gameplay. Maybe I could have given Vegeta some sort of other ability, but he does have the Team Protector mechanic that is very easy to get. So I don't know. I mean, Goku does too, I guess, in that sense. Maybe Vegeta will be stronger. Let me know what you guys think, though. What you guys are liking about these concepts, what you don't like. I'll end the video here. Not much else really to say. We'll see the details sooner than later. Thanks y'all for watching, though. And, of course, I will catch you all in the next video.